All right, everyone. We have a besting of Iran by the Trump administration. Of course, three successful targeted sites, no American casualties. That's great. And now the Qatari Air Base, actually, what's U.S. Air Base in Qatar, had been targeted by actually a swarm of Iranian missiles. Not a single one made it through. There were no casualties there either. By the way, this was a symbolic strike. The Iranian regime, in order to maintain control at all, has no choice. This is the way it works in most of the world, but to retaliate. If you are the leader of a country in the undeveloped world, and your country is attacked in any meaningful way, you have no choice but to respond. This is called a symbolic response. They clearly forewarned that they were going to attack the airbase. Therefore, the air defenses were completely set up. Everything was ready to go. It was no surprise in any way, shape, or form. It's effectively the Iranian leadership saving face. That's basically all they're doing. This sort of symbolic strike happens all the time within diplomacy, and a lot of people don't understand that. That being said, it is still an escalation when we really think about it. The United States has just attacked a sovereign country. It has destroyed, meaningful infrastructure. Bunker busters were dropped. It looks like the mother of all bombs was dropped on a couple of these sites. We're still autopsying it. It's kind of difficult because it's in enemy territory, so to speak, now that we're technically at war. So it's difficult to figure out exactly what went on. That being said, I oppose the operation, but the operation was successful. It's a little bit different from past administrations. Bush would just haul off and say, hey, mission accomplished, and bomb a bunch of things. And of course, mission not accomplished. 20 years later, you're still fucking around in the area. Or Afghanistan, something like that. Or Obama's, the Arab Spring, his bullshit. That was even worse, arguably, than Iraq and Afghanistan. Yeah, Trump got us out of Afghanistan. Biden stupidly tried to take credit for it, not realizing the culture over in that region. I've pointed that out a number of times. You shake hands, you better go through with it. That's basically it in a nutshell. Now, it was weird because we've had multiple administrations that didn't really know what they were doing diplomatically. Trump understands what he's doing. While this particular operation I cannot support because I'm particularly anti-war, I think that it tends to get messy, number one. That's sort of the point. And number two, the U.S. government has not had a great track record over the last 30 or 40 years of actually winning any combat because it holds back the troops with regulation and is now DEIing the military and stuff. It's reversing now, but for a very long time it was a big problem. So while I'm against it, I will nod my head in approval at the actual operation itself in the strategic sense. Because while I don't care if Iran gets the bomb, and I really don't care if Iran gets the bomb, and I have no problem with Iranians, let me point that out. And Iranian food, probably pretty great. Um, at the same time, though, the operation was a success. I find it funny watching liberal commentators struggling to find a reason why this is a bad thing, unless they're like the Palestinian flag wavers or something like that. Unless they're going full Islam mode, which is funny because last I checked, Iran was mainly a Shiite country. There's also Sunni Islam. They're not the same thing. Just telling the liberals out there something interesting that they probably don't know. There are multiple branches of Islam the same way as Christianity and actually Judaism and every other religion, you know? But anyway, I find it funny when these commentators are trying to find some way to wheel around and attack Trump on it. Okay, well, you can't attack him on the operation itself strategically because it was a pure success. Okay. You can't really, I mean, I don't care if Iran gets a nuclear weapon, but I'm in a small minority. I'm in a very small minority on that particular issue. So you're not really going to be able to attack him on why the mission was run. A very successful one, by the way. Iran is incapable of responding to U.S. firepower. They can close the Strait of Hormuz. We'll end up sinking half their navy probably. So you can't really target him on that. Mm, so other than saying Allah Akbar, you really have nothing to say at all. It's very, very interesting. And you don't have to, by the way, be Team Israel, and I'm not, in order to appreciate at the very least that the operation was a success, an unmitigated success, and went off without a hitch. That's something we haven't seen for some time, actually. Military operation that didn't hit a snafu. By the way, every soldier knows what snafu means. That's about all. Peace out.